So as I'm sure most of you guys are aware, a new Fallout TV show dropped on Amazon Prime, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's a total smash hit, and so many people are returning to the Fallout games. And, because so many people are returning to the Fallout games, a ton of people are flocking over to Fallout 76 or are considering going over to Fallout 76 because, there have been a lot of improvements over these past couple of years to make the game better. So I wanted to jump into Fallout 76 in 2024 and, just kind of make a mini review. How is this game in 2024? If you guys also didn't know, Fallout 76 is free currently because of the new TV show release. I'm pretty sure you have to have Amazon Prime or something to get it for free, but if you guys also have like PlayStation Premium or Game Pass, it is on there as well. That's how I got it. So for most people, it's going to be free, and if you don't have it for free, it's pretty easy to get for free. Real quick, let's get the most important thing out of the way for this review, okay? You have to go into Fallout 76 expecting a live service game and not a Fallout game, okay? Fallout games are notoriously massive RPG games with, great dialogue elements and choices to make throughout the story. It's an RPG experience, except Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is not a traditional Fallout RPG. There are RPG elements here, sure, but this is a live service game at its core. So you have to take it for what it is and look at it as a live service game. So how is it as a live service game? I know a lot of people hate on live service games. I don't necessarily hate live service games. If they're made, well, I can enjoy them. I really wanted to hammer home that point just because Fallout fans are pretty hardcore, especially the veteran player base. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. However, there are some Fallout fans that will just immediately discredit Fallout 76 just because it's not like a New Vegas RPG experience. You have to take it for what it is. I really want to hammer that home. And, some people might just hate Fallout 76 right off the bat for that. But if you like live service games, stick around, bro. So with all that being said, just know that all the good things and all the criticisms I'm going to say about this game are coming from a Fallout fan, okay? I have played Fallout literally my whole life, bro. Like, I grew up on these games. I love Bethesda as a developer, regardless of their recent, controversies and whatever. I love Bethesda, bro. And I've been playing Fallout ever since I was a kid, and I have a ton of hours across all the Fallout games. So let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the good. The first thing that I want to mention about Fallout 76 that I think is really, really nice is the graphics. I think the visuals here are really, really strong. Bethesda has kind of been criticized for their visuals before, and obviously Fallout 76 is going to have better graphics than the other games when it's a newer game. But Fallout 4 just got a next-gen update, and Fallout 76 honestly holds up to Fallout 4's graphics. Obviously, Fallout 76 still gets support, but I'm playing this on the PS4 edition. Granted, it is on PS5, but I'm playing like the PS4 edition of it, so there's no like performance mode or anything, and it runs really smooth and it looks really, really good. I'm also having a great time with the combat. It feels really fluid, and I can definitely tell that there's a massive upgrade in that department. The combat feels super fluid, and it is a Bethesda game, and it's going to have that typical Bethesda combat, but it's really, really good in this for Bethesda combat, and it's just so fluid. I actually was kind of impressed, especially because this is an online game. So overall, from a performance standpoint, from like the controls, the combat, the visuals, it's really strong, especially for an online live service game from Bethesda. This game was pretty garbage in that department at launch, okay? Like notoriously bad. Another thing that I really, really like about this game is it's honestly super single player friendly. The whole team system is set up brilliantly, in my opinion. I really like the team system because you can basically squad up with 4 people you've never met before, and you can kind of, do events, do missions, collect loot, just go do live service, looter shooter things with them, and you can honestly make a lot of friends with this, and you can find a squad pretty easily, even if you're a single player. And also, if you have friends, it makes it super easy to connect with your friends and play as well. So I think it does a really good job at catering to both single player players and people who have friends already. Now I will say the gameplay loop in this might be a little repetitive for some people. However, I enjoy it, and it's not that much different from a standard Fallout gameplay loop. Like the gameplay loop in Fallout 76 and the activities you're doing and the quests you're doing are really reminiscent to Fallout 4. Like honestly, this game really just feels like Fallout 4's gameplay loop, but online with friends. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing because I think Fallout 4 is a great looter shooter game. Okay, like I think it does a really good job with the gameplay loop when you're collecting like loot and gear and leveling up your settlement and all of that. It really takes all of those things from Fallout 4 and it puts it in this online setting. I really like that, and I think it honestly makes the game a lot better, and it has a strong thing there going for it. Now, I don't know how replayable this game is in all honesty because I haven't made it into endgame, and for those of you guys who don't know or you're not experienced with looter shooter games, endgame is a really important part for this genre. So I don't know about that yet because I'm still in early game. From what I've heard though from the community, the end game activities have gotten a lot better. Like there's all sorts of boss fights, events, and just stuff you can do with your friends to make the game more challenging because it does start off pretty easy. I just don't know for myself. So take that as you will. The end game activities, from what I've heard, are really strong as well. So the replayability is pretty strong here. Now, last but certainly not least, I really want to talk about the builds in this game and like the perks and the stats and everything. Me personally, I think the way it's set up in this live service environment is genius. Some people may disagree with that, and they may say that the perk system is bland. I really enjoy it, and it actually has a lot more depth than it seems, okay? You can make all sorts of builds, and you can truly really construct your build however you want. You got all sorts of things, like you can buff your teammates with, I think it's like charisma. You can buff your teammates. You can increase the amount of experience your squad is getting. There's so much you can do. Like you can be like a melee build. There's just like the classic Fallout builds, but like kind of modified for a live service environment. Like it's kind of hard to explain, and it is kind of weird, I will admit, but I think it's done really well in this live service environment, and it makes your build like really important, especially as the game gets harder and you start to play with more people. Now let's go ahead and get into the things that disappointed me. So let's go ahead and start with the RPG element. Now I just said that we were looking at this like a live service game. However, it's still a Fallout game, and it's supposed to be an MMO RPG. So I was a little bit disappointed to see that it's lacking some RPG elements. I think from like a character creation standpoint, it's really good. And like all the looting and like making your build, I think it's really strong in that department. But from like the dialogue standpoint and like all of that, like talking to NPCs feels really bland. Like I don't think any of your dialogue decisions matter in this game. Like I just don't think it matters. And if it does, it's like really minuscule. And I don't really like that personally. Plus, like it is a little easy at the start, so your dialogue decisions don't matter. And I just tried to fly through it because it was a little boring. Maybe later on down the line, it does get more important. But it's just not that interesting. On top of that too, I don't think the story is that great either, and I don't think a lot of people applaud this game for its story. I don't think I've ever seen anyone talking about Fallout 76's story, and I don't even know if anyone plays this game for the story. But there is a story here, and there is a main quest line. It's just kind of garbage. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like it's bearable. It's not like like the main focus of this game isn't the story, but the story is kind of lame. However, I do think a saving grace for it is that it's Fallout, and you can go and do side quests and whatever, and you can still discover lore stuff. It's cool. It's Fallout, whatever. But the main storyline's just kind of lame. Adding on to that as well, at least in early game, the quest lines can kind of feel kind of just boring. Like so far, it's really just going and like finding stuff on terminals and like picking up items and bringing it to NPCs, or going and taking out a base for some NPCs, whatever it is. But that at the same time, like that is basically just normal Fallout stuff. And I think Fallout 4 is a good comparison to this game. Like I said before, like Fallout 4 has a really similar gameplay loop. Fallout 4 does have stronger RPG elements with the dialogue. It's not as strong as something like New Vegas, but Fallout 76, imagine Fallout 4, but like without as much depth to the dialogue and RPG elements. That's what I would say. And Fallout 4 is a game that's criticized for its lack of RPG elements. So here it's basically non-existent, but like I said before, Fallout 4 is a great looter shooter, and this is basically just a copy and paste of Fallout 4's gameplay loop just online. And I don't think that's bad. I actually do think that's really good. Something that is also kind of a letdown is the settlement building. It's really lackluster in this game. Fallout 4 just has a better settlement building system, and in this game, like it's good. Like I would say it's not bad. Like you can have some fun with it and you can do a lot with it, but it's not what the standard is for Fallout by any means, especially with Fallout 4 existing. I think that they could expand on the settlement building a lot more. But I mean, it's not, once again, it's not like a deal breaker, right? And last but not least, the microtransactions are kind of, kind of BS. I mean, considering the fact that you can get this game pretty much for free now if you have like Game Pass, PlayStation Premium, or, Amazon Prime, or whatever you have to do to get for free. I don't remember how exactly, once again, but I know you can get it for free. Considering this game is free for most people right now, I don't think microtransactions is too big of a deal because most of it is like skins and stuff. The skins are overpriced though. Like they're really overpriced, and it's kind of disappointing to see from Bethesda. And also there's like some weird like monthly subscription thing going on for like $12 a month. I'm not sure what that's about. So far I haven't been like locked out of any content of any sort, but like there's some sort, I don't know if it's like a battle pass or like a monthly membership. Me personally, I haven't been locked out of content, and I do think that there's enough free to play content here. So you don't really need to worry about it, and you can kind of just ignore it. It's just kind of disappointing to see from Bethesda of all people, because these are the people who made like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, like some of the best single player games of all time. To see them, introduce microtransactions like that. I mean, they've been in the game for a while, but it is really, really disappointing. For me, especially as a Bethesda fan. But hey, it is what it is, and now the game is basically free to play, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. You know what I'm trying to say, though. Like, it's just kind of lame. So, to answer the big question, though, is Fallout 76 worth your time in 2024? I'm going to say yes. If you're somebody who is getting into Fallout because of the TV shows and you've never played a Fallout game before and you want to start somewhere that's easy to learn, I think Fallout 76 is really beginner friendly, and you can kind of pick up some mechanics that are, really familiar across all of the games. See, a lot of Fallout fans that are veterans will tell new players to the series to start with games like New Vegas or Fallout 4 and like Fallout 3, and all of those are great games. Like New Vegas is probably like, it is the strongest in the series, actually. Hands down, New Vegas is the best, and a lot of people will tell you to start at New Vegas, but regardless of New Vegas being the best in the series, there are a lot of confusing mechanics in it, and it can be kind of difficult for newer players to the franchise to kind of understand and get into, and that might scare them away from it. So I think Fallout 76 is actually a decent learning ground for new players to get into the Fallout series. And on top of that, you can meet a ton of people on this game. Like I said before, it is super easy to squad up with people, and most likely the other people you're playing with are also Fallout fans. So if you can reach out, connect, make a friend on Fallout 76, they're probably a Fallout veteran, to be honest, especially if they're like high level. They can help you out with those games as well. And I think Fallout 76 serves a great purpose for the newer Fallout fans. I will say that. And if you're a veteran player, Fallout 76 can be extremely, extremely fun for you, okay? Especially if you have friends. If you have friends, definitely play Fallout 76, especially if you guys are all getting into Fallout again after the TV show. Play Fallout 76, bro. It's truly a great time. And even if you don't have friends, like I said, you can connect with people, as a single player, and you can actually make friends and kind of, get into a community. And I think Fallout 76 is really important for the Fallout community just because it's kind of like a grounds where the Fallout community can do stuff together, right? I don't think that there's any gaming community out there that's like the Fallout community, because, the Fallout community is really connected regardless of most of the games being single player games. And that's why I like Fallout 76. Regardless of its flaws, regardless of the fact that it was a dumpster fire at launch, Fallout 76 is great for the Fallout community just because it, like I said, it gives, the Fallout community grounds to do stuff with each other and kind of connect and have fun in this world. I think Fallout 76 is really important to the Fallout community, like regardless of all those flaws.